What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me for another stream of Let's Learn QuickBooks, where I am tackling the QuickBooks Online certification in my efforts to become a QuickBooks ProAdvisor. So, let's get started. Let's start with opening up the screen that I am currently viewing. I'm already opened up on the QuickBooks Online Accountant login. Hey, Debbie, what's going on? And let's open up ProAdvisor training and head on over to banking and tools. So reconciling the bank, resume. Let's get started on this section. It's purported to be 18 minutes long. Maybe I'll be able to complete it in maybe half an hour. Let's check it out. Reconciling the bank. The story so far. Cindy, owner of Cindy's Beauty Bar, has had a great month and she already has enough orders to give her a great quarter. But she knows that she needs to pause and think at the end of each month and make sure her accounts are reconciled. Reconciliation takes time and attention. Cindy remembers her former process where she spends hours reconciling accounts and getting confused. What she needs is a run-through of how reconciling with QuickBooks Online works. How can QuickBooks Online help? It's best practice to reconcile Cindy's accounts monthly to the bank statement using the Reconcile feature. The reconciliation process is necessary to find errors and omissions between QuickBooks Online registers and the bank. With QuickBooks Online, this is made easier, especially when using bank feeds. Let's show off a little and wow Cindy with how easy reconciling in QuickBooks Online can be. Okay, so learning outcomes in this section. In this lesson, you'll learn how to 1. Explain the importance of reconciling the bank at set dates, and 2. Recognize how to utilize bank reconciliation tools. Topics covered will include reconciling in QuickBooks Online, reconciling accounts, an intelligent reconciliation experience, beginning balance discrepancies, rogue transactions, changing a reconciled transaction, and undoing a reconciliation. Okay, let's continue with this lesson. Reconciling in QuickBooks Online. Reconciling Cindy's account means making sure that what she has in QuickBooks Online reflects what's really happened in terms of income, expenses, and other movements and adjustments of cash. With a bank statement, the power of QuickBooks Online and its smart learning, reconciliation can be done quickly and efficiently. So let's take a look at this video.
Account reconciliation is the process of matching transactions entered into QuickBooks Online against your client's bank or credit card statements. This review should be done on a regular basis, once a month at the very least. When reconciliation is account reconciliation is the process of matching transactions entered into QuickBooks Online against your client's bank or credit card statements.
Okay.
This review should be done on a regular basis, once a month at the very least when you receive your statements. Best practice is to connect your client's online bank accounts to QuickBooks Online and perform regular upkeep throughout the month. The balances in QuickBooks Online need to match your bank and credit card records, so you know exactly how much money your client's business has in the bank, allowing you to create financial reports based on accurate data. You can use the accounting toolbox or the gear icon to get your reconciliation started. Choose the account you want to reconcile. Ideally, you would start with your checking account. Enter the ending balance and ending date as they appear on your client's bank statements. Go through the accounts in QuickBooks line by line, checking that individual item amounts and aggregate totals match what's on the bank statement. Do this until the difference between the QuickBooks account and your bank statements is $0.
Okay. Perfect. Let's keep it moving. Continue lesson. Reconciling accounts. Cindy has done a great job reconciling her accounts. Let's see how she's done it. we have received her bank statement dated June 30, 2019 for her payroll checking account. Notice it displays her beginning and ending balances and the total amount of withdrawals and deposits. We'll need this information to complete the reconciliation. Watch the video to see how it's done. The individual steps are below for you to follow. So let's watch the video.
Select Accounting in the left nav bar, then Reconcile at the top. Select Payroll Checking from the Account drop-down menu. Enter $4,819.29 from the statement ending balance into the ending balance box and enter 06/30/2019 as the ending date. Select Start Reconciling. Notice that QuickBooks has already marked all the transactions for June cleared in the register and that the difference is 0. Because all transactions were previously matched and added in the banking center, marking transactions as tentatively cleared, this makes the reconciliation process at the end of the month a snap. Select Finish Now, then Done.
Okay, perfect. Complete. So let's keep on moving. Continue lesson. An intelligent reconciliation experience. Cindy's book balanced straight away and gave us the all-important $0 difference, but sometimes finding the problems takes time and detective work. With QuickBooks Online, the features to help you find reconciliation problems are right there at your fingertips. Let's take a look at another client's bank reconciliation and take a tour around the screen to explore some of the features. Select each hotspot in turn to see further information. Okay. Bank register. Registers. There's a handy shortcut to jump straight to the bank registers with a single tap. Select Reconcile to return to the reconciliation screen. Okay. Jump straight to bank registers. Select Reconcile. Okay. Customize view. By default, the table shows all transactions, but you can also choose to show just deposits or payments. Overview area. This gives you more visibility of how you are reaching the 0 difference. Filter. The filter gives you a number of ways to search for transactions. Examples include search by memo, reference number, and amount, or cleared status, transaction type, pay, or date range. By default, QuickBooks Online sets a filter to show transactions on or before the statement date. Difference. The all-important reconciliation number. You need to try and get the difference to 0. When you add or remove a check mark to include or exclude a transaction, we update the difference. The client's books and banks agree when the difference is $0. Okay. Edit info. If you need to edit the statement, ending balance, or date, select the edit button to make the change. Save for later, or save your reconciliation. If you want to save the reconciliation and finish it later, you can select the Save for Later button. Once you reach the magical 0 difference, this button will change to Finish Now. This will complete the reconciliation. There are other options in the drop-down menu. Okay. Select Transactions. Any transactions added or matched through bank feeds will automatically have a benchmark in this column. Compare the transactions to the bank statement, and if they show up on the bank statement, check them off. Let's read that again. Any transactions added or matched through bank feeds will automatically have the check mark in this column. Compare the transactions to the bank statement, and if they show up on the bank statement, check them off. Once everything that is on the bank statement is selected here, the difference should be 0. Okay. Perfect. ProAdvisor tip. You also have the option to add reference numbers and memos right from the reconciliation screen. So if if the check transactions didn't come through with a check number, you just edit them here to pop the information in. Simple. You may also have the option to change the payee and the posting account. So continue lesson. Beginning balance discrepancies. QuickBooks Online has smart learning that will help you and your client with some of the most common causes of accounts not reconciling. Beginning balance discrepancies. When the beginning balance you see on your client's bank statement doesn't match the beginning balance when starting a bank reconciliation, should be fixed before you reconcile. QuickBooks Online alerts you to these beginning balance discrepancies and gives you a link to run a discrepancy report straight from the Reconcile screen. The discrepancy report finds any transactions that were changed after they were reconciled, if the change affected the beginning balance of the account, deleted. Let me read that again. Alerts you to beginning balance discrepancy, give you links to run the discrepancy report finds any transactions that were changed after they were reconciled, if the change affected the beginning balance of the account, deleted after it was reconciled, manually reconciled in the register by changing the reconciliation status to reconciled, or unreconciled in the register by changing the reconciliation status from reconciled R to cleared C or no status. When you open the report, QuickBooks Online will also give you some guidance on how we think you can solve the transactions. Once you've resolved the problem transactions and the total discrepancy difference is 0, you're ready to reconcile. Okay. So let's continue this lesson. Rogue transaction. QuickBooks Online also uses smart learning to help you identify if a rogue transaction is preventing you from reconciling. For example, it can help you identify if a transaction date is incorrect, say if the posting date was manually entered and has a clearing date that differs from the banking date. QuickBooks Online will identify these hidden transactions and give you a link to display them, making it easier for you to go through and include ones you need to hit the magic 0 difference. Include the ones that you need to hit the magic 0 difference. This smart learning is available to QuickBooks Online accounts that have been connected to online banking because it relies on the cleared bank feeds transactions. ProAdvisor tip: you can learn a lot more about how to troubleshoot bank reconciliations by joining us on the QuickBooks Online Advanced Certification Training. Something to check out. So let's continue this lesson. So there's a video here, so we'll watch that video, just read up to here and then watch the video. Changing a reconciled transaction. Now, as with most things in QuickBooks Online, if Cindy or any clients make an error and needs to fix it, it's pretty easy to adjust or roll things back. Even transactions that you've reconciled can be changed. Generally, you wouldn't change a reconciled transaction, but sometimes errors are made inadvertently.
Having noticed that she wrote a check for the wrong amount to a vendor, Cindy has gone into the account herself and updated the amount on the check after you have reconciled. Let's pretend we're going to attempt the next month's reconciliation. Select the gear icon and then Reconcile. You should see an alert warning that this account isn't ready to reconcile, highlighting that our beginning balance is off by $100, the edit we made earlier, and a helpful link offering to help us fix it. Select the link. The link will launch a Reconciliation Discrepancy Report screen highlighting the problem we created. Let's fix that problem. Select the line in the report and edit the amount back to $422.36, then select Save. You may get a warning pop-up asking if you're sure, but hold fast, we're doing good here, so select Yes. The entry should disappear, and in the top right, the total discrepancy should be 0 to attempt the next month's reconciliation. Select the gear icon and then Reconcile. You should see an alert warning that this account isn't ready to reconcile, highlighting that our beginning balance is off by $100, the edit we made earlier, and a helpful link offering to help us fix it. Select the link. The link will launch a Reconciliation Discrepancy Report screen highlighting the problem we created. Let's fix that problem. Select the line in the report and edit the amount back to $422.36. Then select, and you're all set.
Let's continue this lesson. Undoing a reconciliation. If things get messy, it's useful to know how to undo a reconciliation. However, it's usually better to use the Discrepancy Report to fix reconciliation errors that we looked at a moment ago. You may undo a reconciliation if the reconciliation was forced, meaning it was saved even though the difference was not zero. That causes QuickBooks Online to make an adjustment. Undoing the reconciliation allows you to start over so that you can find the discrepancies. In this activity, you will walk through the steps involved in undoing a reconciliation. So let's watch that.
From QuickBooks Online Accountant, open Cindy's client file. Select the gear icon. Open the Reconcile screen. Select the History by Account link. On the Reconciliation History screen, select the down arrow next to the View Report, then select Undo. QuickBooks Online doesn't ever want you to do this by accident, so you'll get 2 warning pop-ups checking you're sure you want to undo the reconciliations. If you don't want to undo all your hard work, select Go Back.
Okay, let's keep it moving. Lesson check. Look at this picture of the new reconciliation screen. Let's say you only want to see clear transactions. What would you select? Okay, maybe here. I would say number 4. But let's find out if I'm correct. I'm not even sure. That's right. You can use the filter to search for cleared transactions. You can also use the filter to search by memos, reference number, amount, transaction type, payee, or date range. Let's continue. Summing up. Well done. In this lesson, you learned how to explain the importance of reconciling the bank set dates and recognize how to utilize bank reconciliation tools. Next steps in the next lesson, we'll learn how you can turbocharge your client's transaction recording process by creating recurring transactions. Alright, so this is the first time I completed the lesson quicker than the reported estimated time. So that is done over here. And we might be able to get this done tonight. So let's continue pushing through. Recurring transactions. The story so far. Craig is really impressed with the way QuickBooks Online can help him work with his bank's data, and his reconciliations will be easier from now on. But he's intrigued when you mentioned that recurring transactions could save him more valuable time by automating regular transactions. Ready to help Craig with recurring transactions? How can QuickBooks Online help? Recurring transactions can be set up for a variety of different reasons in QuickBooks Online. The beauty of this feature is that it's flexible enough to meet lots of business needs for different types of businesses. Let's take a look. So, learning outcomes. In this lesson, you'll learn how to 1. Describe when and how to use recurring transactions. Topics covered include helping your clients create recurring transactions, creating a simple recurring transaction, and ProAdvisor challenge. So let's keep it moving. All right. Helping your clients create recurring transactions. Recurring transactions in QuickBooks Online can be set up to manage pretty much any of the first transactions in any workflow, like sales, receipts, invoices, bills, journals, checks, deposits, or expenses. It's a great way to automate money out transactions like rental or insurance payments. They are paid at regular intervals and are for a fixed amount. On the sales side, when Craig's selling a service, that means customers pay a fixed fee for regular maintenance such as tree and shrub trimming. recurring service charges can be set up to invoice those customers. With advanced customer authorization, Craig can even set up a recurring charge to a customer's credit card or ACH debit to a customer's bank account using a sales receipt. When setting up an invoice for recurring transaction, you have the option to include unbilled charges and automatically send emails. If set up, Craig won't have to remember to generate invoices every month. This will eliminate all the reminder sticky notes he keeps attached to his computer screen. His attention can be focused on his business instead. More advanced recurring transactions can be set up for non-posting transactions, such as purchase orders or estimates. Notice that the transaction post does not have to be scheduled. For example, if your purchase order typically contains the same items purchased, but you don't order on a scheduled basis, select reminder or schedule or unschedule from the type drop down list. As an accountant, you can even set up recurring journal entries to reclassify deferred revenue or prepaid expenses. ProAdvisor tip: automating processes with recurring transactions can save time and headaches when you've got regular predictable activities, whether they're expenses or sales activities like invoices. However, the automation requires some involvement to make sure invoices for canceled or held work don't go out automatically. Okay. Continue lesson. Lesson check. Which of the recurring transactions shown here would be used if Craig needed to set up a monthly recurring customer charge, including payment? What? Let's read that again. Which of the following recurring transactions shown here would be used if Craig needed to set up a monthly recurring customer charge, including payment? So, a recurring sales receipt, a recurring purchase order for a vendor with no quantities. I don't think that's right. A recurring journal entry for depreciation. I guess it's this, a recurring sales receipt. That's right. The great thing about QuickBooks Online's recurring transactions functionality is that it allows you to create them to match your circumstances and needs. The same goes for Craig. In this case, he can set up a regular recurring sales receipt for landscaping services carried out each month. Remember, a sales receipt means you get paid at the time of sale. So, provided Craig is signed up to QuickBooks Payment and has prior authorization to charge the customer, you can set up the payment as part of the recurring sales receipt transaction. The other two examples are great illustrations of uses of recurring transactions, but not suitable for Craig's needs at this time. Okay. Creating a simple recurring transaction. Craig paid his first month of fuel costs by check, but he is on a monthly budget plan, and because this is a regular payment he needs to make, let's help him set up a recurring transaction. Let's already set it up for his bank to make the payment on his behalf each month. So he's already set it up. Okay, so let's watch this
Select
video.
the gear icon. Select recurring transactions. Select new. Now choose expense as the new transaction type from the drop-down list and select OK.
Okay, I need to watch that again, sorry.
Now choose gear icon. Select recurring transactions.
Recurring transactions.
Select new.
New.
Now choose expense as the new transaction type from the drop-down list and select OK.
Expense, okay.
On the new screen, enter Chin's Gas and Oil budget plan as the template name. Best practice is to list the name, vendor, customer, employee in the template name. This makes it easier to identify your recurring templates. As the type, make it scheduled. It's probably selected already. We're going to create the recurring transaction 5 days in advance. The payee is Craig's fuel supplier, Chin's Gas and Oil, so let's add that from the vendor list.
5 days in advance.
Make the account from which the payment will be made checking.
Let's watch that, read that again, because I don't know what he's referring to.
supplier, the payee 5 days in advance, recurring transaction 5 days in advance. We're going to create the recurring transaction 5 days in advance. The payee is Craig's fuel supplier, Chin's gas and oil, so let's add that from the vendor list. Make the account from which the payment will be made checking. Select monthly as the interval. Make the payment on the first of the month, starting at the beginning of next month. Don't add an ending date. There's no need to enter a payment method or reference number. In the Category Details section, select the Automobile Fuel account. Make the amount $300. Select Save Template.
All right. And how do we do that again?
Select the gear icon.
Gear icon.
Select
recurring. Okay, got it. So let's continue this lesson. ProAdvisor challenge. Now that you've seen how easy it is to create a recurring transaction, why not try it out for yourself in Craig's Landscaping? Craig also has a recurring insurance expense with Brosnahan Insurance Agency. Can you set up an annual payment for him? His insurance is due on June 19th. Okay. So what do we do? New list. Where's the list? Huh. Recurring transactions. Was it journal entry? I forget.
Select recurring transactions.
Okay, let's take a look. Okay, here. It doesn't have one anymore. Oh no, it's the widget, that's why. So, set the widget over here. Recurring transactions. Now what do we want to do? Set up a recurring annual payment. New annual payment. Can put as a tip. Expense. And why expense? Insurance expense. I don't know, it sounds like a bill to me, but okay. Okay. Brosnahan. Insurance expense. Scheduled what? 5 days? 5 days in advance. Payee. As a type, make it schedule. On the new screen, enter Bosnian insurance. Okay, that's how to do it. As a type, make it schedule. 5 days in advance. Select Bosnian and vendor apparently. Where? Vendor list. What vendors list? Oh. Payee, who's going to be receiving the money. Make the account from which the payment will be made checking. So, okay, that's already set. Select yearly as interval. Yearly. Make the payment on the 19th of June. Okay. Don't add an ending date. There's no need to enter a payment method or a reference number in the category details section. Select the insurance account. Select the amount, $200. Select save template. Okay. Check your work. Current transactions should appear in the list. Okay. Perfect. ProAdvisor tip. Craig's Landscaping is the example company in QuickBooks Online Test Drive. It's designed for you to explore and try out new things without worrying that you will break something. Okay, we've heard that in the past, so let's keep it moving. In summary, learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, you've learned how to describe when and how to use recurring transactions. ProAdvisor tip: a customer, vendor, employee, product, service, or account cannot be deleted if they are on a recurring transaction. Next steps in this module, you've seen how QuickBooks Online can make working with bank feeds and transactions easy, from matching and adding transactions through to reconciliation. Clients love how QuickBooks Online can take the sting out of this process. Now, check your knowledge and complete your learning in this module by taking the module review. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, it looks like we're done, pretty much. So we just have this section for the module review to go over. So let's try and do that. Reporting, no. So let's resume this. Okay. It says 5 minutes, but it's 14 slides. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Module review, banking and tools. This short module review is an optional activity enabling you to revisit some of the key points covered in the course. This is not a test, so there's no scoring and no pass or fail either. Its purpose is to help to reinforce what you've learned. Although the review is optional, we do recommend that you complete it because it does count toward your course completion status and is reflected in the progress bar. To complete the review, simply work through the questions presented. You must answer each question correctly to proceed to the next. Okay. Which tab in QuickBooks Online? Banking shows the bank data that has not yet been accepted into QuickBooks Online. Let's think about that. For review. That's right. Open the For Review tab, find the row with the suggested match, select the row to expand it, select the blue something linked to view transaction. How would you get the deposit transaction for a suggested match with? Let's read that again. Open the review for review tab, find the row with the suggested match, find the row to expand it, select the blue link to view the transaction. How would you get the deposit transaction for a suggested match within bank feeds? Transaction details, Kind of getting tired, guys. Deposit. Okay, how would you get the deposit transaction for suggested match with bank fees? Deposit. I don't know what that really means. Once satisfied that the blank is associated with the correct QuickBooks Online transaction, select match in the active column. What option from the list completes the description of how to match an expense or payment? Okay. What option from the list correctly completes the description of how to match an expense or payment? Once satisfied that the blank is associated, that the bank fee transaction, I guess. Yes, that's right. Okay. When uploading a receipt to QuickBooks Online from a folder on your computer, which two actions can you use? You can drag and drop from the folder bar into Dropbox in the Receipts tab. Select Browse to upload the link in Receipts tab. Take a photo on your phone and email the file. Take a photo of it on your phone and send via the app. Okay. I think that's right too. But when uploading from a folder on your computer, what can you do? You cannot do that. Can't do that. And take a photo of it on your phone. Select the browse to upload link in the Receipts tab. So the reason why it says take photo on your phone is because that's wrong, is because it's asking specifically about something that's in a folder on your computer. Okay. When adding information to a receipt in the banking center, which information will you be able to add to the transaction if OCR hasn't already found it? Complete all that apply. I have no clue. When adding information to a receipt in the banking information, which information will you be able to add to the transaction if OCR hasn't already found it? It's like all that apply. To a receipt. Okay, let's see. Payee, bank credit, payment date, account category, description, amount, memo notes. Everything, basically. Oh, wow. Okay. Your client has called to say that they had been emailing their receipts to the email address receipts@quickbooks.com, but their receipts aren't loaded. What would you go to check whether their email address is registered for this service? Let's see. I think it's going to be banking. Well, let's read through the answers first. Banking, Receipts tab. Manage senders link. Maybe. Banking tab, file upload. I don't think so. Banking, Receipts tab. Give feedback button. I don't think so. Banking, rules tab, new rule button. Button, yes. That's what it says, but I don't know. I want to say it's banking, Receipts tab, manage senders link, but let's find out. Yep, that's correct. Your client has noticed a transaction that is duplicated in the bank feed and is asking for your advice. How would you respond? So the answers are QuickBooks Online will automatically detect and delete the duplicate transaction. It's fine to have duplicate transactions in the bank feed as they will be ignored during reconciliation. We can add an adjusting entry to offset the duplicated transaction. The transaction will need to be excluded if it's is a duplicate in the bank feed because it will lead to errors in reconciliation. I think that's it. Yep. Okay. Question 8. Which of the following statements here is correct about the bank rules? Select all of the options of the correct options. Rules can be prioritized over the other rules. Rules can be set up to split transactions. You can create a bank rule to automatically add transactions to the register. So I would say that's the answer. And there we go. And obviously that was an answer that bank rules can't be edited. We know that's not true. Question 9. Which of these most closely describes the purpose of reconciling a bank account? To match transactions from the bank feed to entries already in QuickBooks Online. Okay. I would say that's it. To find differences and omissions between QuickBooks Online and the bank statement. Oh, that's true too. To finalize the accounts and lock them with a closing date. So that's the answer. No. To find differences, maybe. Okay. Which of the following closely describes the purpose of reconciling a bank account? And it is to find differences and omissions between the QuickBooks Online register and the bank account and the bank statement. Question 10. The reconciliation report shows that activity related to a particular reconciliation. Clients can select expenses or deposits from this report to review the transaction. A reconciliation can be viewed by selecting blank on the Reconcile screen. Shows that activity related to a particular clients can select expenses or deposits from this report to view the transaction. Reconciliation report can be viewed by selecting blank on the Reconcile screen. What do you select? What do you select on the reconciliation screen to run the reconciliation report? Selecting. Let's see. View reconciliation. Run report. History by account. Okay. What do you select on the reconciliation screen to run the reconciliation report? And it's history by account. How would an accountant user undo a reconciliation? On the reconciliation history tab, select the down arrow next to and select undo maybe. On the reconciliation screen, select the gear icon and select undo. From the accountant toolbox, select undo reconciliation. From the chart of accounts, I think that's the answer. There we go. And it is on the reconciliation history screen. Select the down arrow next to view report and select undo. Okay, that's it. Let's see where we're at. You need to help your client set up a new recurring expense transaction. Which of the following are the correct steps to begin the process in QuickBooks Online? Select the New Plus button. Select Recurring Transactions. Select New and choose Expense as the new transaction type. Type from the drop-down list. Okay. What? Oh no, this one. Select the gear icon. Select Recurring Transactions. Select New. Select Choose Expense as the new transaction type from the drop-down list. Check my answer. That's right. Okay, summary. Next steps. Okay, you're doing great. Let's keep the momentum moving. You can now move on to the next module from the course overview page. So let's go to the course overview page. I think I have a CPE that's available for myself over there. See how long this is going to take. 10 minutes for pretty much all of them. But let's get started on the CPE assessment. Might have to move to another page and come back. Okay. CPE assessment rules. Before you begin this assessment, please review the instructions below. If you don't require CPE credits, you may skip this optional assessment, but why not challenge yourself to see how much you know? You must complete this short assessment in one sitting. You have unlimited attempts to pass this assessment. CPE details and glossary over there. Let's get started. Question 1. If you haven't already signed up for receipt forwarding, which link would you select in order to set this up? Potential answers are register your email to get started, the gear icon, the plus new menu. I think it's this manage senders, but let's find out. Bank rules automate the data entry of bank feed activity. Which elements of bank feed activity can be automatically configured via a bank rule? Select options that apply. I would say pretty much all of this. What's going on? Update. Okay, next. Select 3 options that apply. Okay, so I was very wrong. Okay, bank rules automate the data. Which elements can be automatically configured via bank rule? Category. And then remember that. Transaction type. And what else? I don't remember. Let's say date. Why might bank feed activity need to be excluded if it is a duplicate? Why might bank feed activity need to be excluded? Well, if it's duplicate of an already downloaded bank feed activity, there we go. Following a successful reconciliation, a pop-up screen appears congratulating you. Which option would you select to look in detail at the reconciliation information in QuickBooks Online? Okay, edit the beginning balance to see how it affects the reconciliation. Run reconciliation again, edit the beginning balance to see how it affects the reconciliation. Select view report to run reconciliation report. Sounds right, but we'll see. Your client has a few expense transactions for their local gas station. When reviewing their bank feed, you can work smarter by adding them all at the same time. The process you follow is go to for review tab in the banking center, select the gas transactions, go to batch actions, I guess, except selected. When you match an entry in the bank feed, it blank the transaction. It clears. Which of the following transactions listed here would be made into a recurring transaction? Select as many as are correct. Would be made into a recurring transaction. Sales receipt charged to customer's credit card, an invoice for service charges, an adjusting journal entry, an expense to record monthly. I would say all of them. Oops, something is wrong. It's not all of them. Shoot. Let's say it's that. Let's see how we did. You did not pass. Holy cow. Why might bank feed activity need to be excluded? I would say that. Which of the following listed here could be made into a recurring transaction? Should have wrote that down. Shoot. To be into a recurring transaction. Sales receipt. Invoice for service charges. And adjusting journal entry. See that. Holy cow. Okay, we need to go back because I need to get some of these answers. Where is this? Recurring transactions. Okay. Okay, so they don't have a clean example of what would be let's see, examples of recurring transactions. It's a great way to automate money out transactions like rent or insurance payments that are paid at regular intervals for a fixed amount. On sales side, when Craig's selling a service, that means pay a fixed fee for regular maintenance, recurring. Okay. And also, let's get this part down here. It's going to be a hard one to pass. What option should you, which option should you select to look in detail at the reconciliation information in QuickBooks Online? Okay. I would say it's that. It's like view report on to reconciliation date, whatever. Which option correctly completes the sentence? You mentioned entry, the bank feed, it clears. Okay, why might bank feed activity need to be excluded? Is it a duplicate of an already downloadable bank feed activity? For clients, let's find out. Let's see. Exclude. Oh, your client calls because you see duplicate transactions in for this traditionally they bought using a checking account card. From the list below, what's the most likely reason for this? They create an expense transaction at the time of purchase and match the transaction when reviewing their. They created more than one expense form using the same details. There's an error with the bank feed. They created an expense transaction at the time purchased and added transaction when that's the most likely one. Which of the following lists here could be made into a recurring transaction? Let's see what I copied over here. It's not that. Maybe that. Monthly rental. Adjusting journal entry, maybe. Maybe it's that. If you haven't already signed up for a receipt forwarding, which link would help register your email to get started? Forwarding. Don't have that. Manage centers, maybe. Bank rules automate the data entry of bank feed activity. Which elements of bank feed activity can be automatically configured via a bank rule? Let's see if I have anything about bank rules here. Oh gosh, the transaction type, the category type, and what is it? Billable date, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to have to look at that again. So we got here. What do I need? Forget. Just go through it really quick. See if there's anything I need. Okay. Can't remember now. Rules, bank rules. It's not here. Let's see what we got here. Next lesson. Okay. Next lesson. Creating simple bank rules. Okay. Here we go. Bank rules. Got that. And now let's go back. Training. Let's take another stab at it. Let's get started. Identify the missing step. Select the gear icon. Select Reconcile. How would an accountant user undo a reconciliation? Select Show me around. Summary. History by account. What's that? Oh, what's this? Okay. Well, let's find out. What is that? A reconciliation. Let's open this in a new tab. I can't. I don't actually have any historic history over there. How would an accountant user undo a reconciliation? Okay. History by account. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go back. We need to go take another look at it. What was the question again? It's late, so I'm not functioning at 100%. Recurring. I forget what I was looking for. Okay, reconcile the bank. It's not working though. Well, let me take a look at the prior lessons. It's weird. Okay. Can't look, apparently. Oh, no, let me look again there. That's weird. Next lesson. Managing receipts. Oh, no. Next lesson. Wait, let's go back actually. Managing receipts, where is it? Oh gosh. Oh, I'm wrong. Banking tools. Managing receipts. How do we do the forwarding? Okay, there we go. Set up forward. Here it is. So let's copy this. Manage senders, that's it. Which is, so I was correct. No, I think we should just start. Okay. Let's get started. If you haven't already signed up for receipt forwarding, manage senders. There we go. Your client calls you because there is duplicate transaction. From the list below, what's the most likely reason? They create an expense transaction at the time of purchase and then added the transaction when reviewing their bank feed. Okay. Following successful reconciliation, a pop-up appears congratulating you. Which option should you select to look in detail at the reconciliation information in QuickBooks Online? Maybe select View Report to run a reconciliation? Don't know. The blank tab shows the bank feed items that have not yet been accepted into QuickBooks Online. Which option correct? The for review. Okay. Why might bank feed activity need to be excluded if it's a duplicate of an already downloaded bank feed activity? Question 6. Bank rules automate the data entry of bank feed activity. Which elements of bank feed activity can automatically configure via a bank rule? Okay, so I have my notes over here. The bank rule automates the categorization of transactions in the bank feed, including assignment of the transaction type, category, payee, class, location, also split transactions, I think that's it. So transaction type, category, and payee. Which of the transactions listed here could be made into a recurring transaction? Select as many as are correct. Recurring. Do you have a recurring? Okay. It's a great way to automate like rental. Is there anything about here? Rental. On sales side, for regular maintenance, invoice, not in that invoice for service charge. Maybe that. Okay. Using sales receipt. Okay. So let's remove that. Adjusting journal entry. I could have sworn I saw that, but maybe I'm mistaken. There we go. Finally. Holy cow. That was challenging. Okay. So we're done with this section now. I don't feel 100% confident for it, but I'm okay. Okay. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. It's getting late. It's almost 11 p.m. over here. So I hope you guys found this content to be helpful and useful for you guys. If you did find this content helpful, feel free to hit that like, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, you guys stay hustling, work hard, work smart, and have a good one, guys.